All right, let's get to business. San Francisco 49ers don't really play in San Francisco anymore. That's another story for another day, but 9.5 over under, 10-7 last year, NFC Championship, Jimmy G out, Trey Lance in. The first question's got to be about Trey Lance. So Trey Lance, he's taking a lot of flack from the start. First, he went to this school in North Dakota, didn't play really his last season because of COVID. My man took a lot of flack. They said that Shanny didn't want him. He wanted middle of the line, mediocre Mac Jones instead. Then they were saying, man, my man throws fastballs. That's all he throwing. It's like he playing in the major league. He doesn't have any touch on his passes. But Jimmy G, he flames out like he usually does, and the team decides to give him more time to focus on his Subway commercials and to date porn stars, and they say, hey, Trey Lance, you're our guy. Here's the keys. So the first question is Trey Lance going to be any good? Now, I tend to believe that he is going to be good, and this is the reason why. Kyle Shanahan's system is a great system, gets you a lot of open throws. He's universally known as one of the top 5 schemers of offense in our league. But if you look historically, quarterbacks in their first season in that system struggle. If you look at the peak of that system, Matt Ryan, his first year didn't do so well. Second year, MVP Super Bowl. Even if you look at a guy like Baker Mayfield, who's playing in a Shanahan light system, first season and it didn't do well. Second season did really well. So I expect Trey Lance to have a monster year. I think he is. What I think doesn't really matter, so we have to see. I mean, I think a lot of things. I think mint chocolate is an abomination to God and man, but a lot of you guys like that nasty shit. So I don't know. We got to see. So the number one question is Trey Lance. Number 2, the defense. When the Niners went to the Super Bowl, they went out on the strength of their defense, and particularly the strength of the defensive line. Through trades of DeForest Buckner, bad signings with D Ford, who was just recently released, a lot of injuries piling up with Kinlaw to Mo Hurst. It's kind of piling up. Can this defense go back to what it was before? Now, that defense was really top heavy, especially up front. But you saw recently Richard Sherman say that this might be the best secondary the Niners have had in a long time. Multiple Pro Bowlers in the secondary. If that turns out to be the case, they could probably replicate what they did defensively, but with a more holistic approach instead of just focusing on the pass rush. So is this a Super Bowl defense or not? That's one of the bigger questions for them. And then the last question has to be about Kyle Shanahan himself. Like I said, he's universally known as one of the best schemers of offense in the NFL, but he's coached here for 5 years. He's had 2 winning seasons. It's been a roller coaster. And generally with the greatest coaches like the Mike Tomlins, the Bill Belichick's, players and coaches of that cloth, they don't have these fall-offs. So is this going to be a consistent season? They just went to the NFC Championship. His career states that they're probably going to be getting the top 5 pick because the roller coaster has gone almost all the way up. It's about to come crashing back down. Or do we start to see some consistency from Kyle Shanahan's teams in this Niners tenure? So as far as betting, I like the 9.5. I like it a lot. I think that Trey Lance is going to be a huge upgrade over Jimmy G. And this might blow your mind. Another bet that I like for the Niners is Trey Lance to win MVP of the league. Now, listen, hold on. Before you start calling me names, listen. I'm not trying to be a shock jock. Pat Mahomes, his second year. Lamar Jackson, his second year. We've seen this trend of these quarterbacks coming out of nowhere in their second season that have the athleticism, that have this package shine. I mean, the odds are plus 5,000. You put $100 on my man, you get 5,000 back if he wins the MVP. So I know it's crazy, but it's not the craziest MVP candidacy. I mean, there was a MVP Mitch Trubisky candidacy that the Bears were trying to start. So I'm not the craziest. I'm not the worst. So I think that that's a good look. I think you got to look at it. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment, rate, subscribe. The game is the game. All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. You heard what she said.
Man, do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is a game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, you know? The game is a game. Always.